I think we might get the show on the road. Good evening, everybody. This is our ordinary council meeting for Monday, 22nd of September 2025. Devonport City Council acknowledges and pays respects to the Palawakakana people as the traditional and original owners of Luttrell and continuing custodians of this land on which we gather. We also acknowledge and pay our respects to the Tasmanian Aboriginal elders past and present. All persons in attendance are advised that it is council policy to record council meetings in accordance with council's digital recording policy. The digital recording of this meeting will be made available to the public on council's website for a minimum period of 6 months. The meeting will also be live streamed on council's YouTube channel. All persons in attendance are to be respectful and considerate towards other persons attending and participating in the meeting. Any language or conduct that is considered offensive, defamatory, or threatening to any person attending or participating in the meeting or listening to the recording will not be accepted. Apologies. I see that we have our wonderful councillors here, but we do have an apology from Councillor Wilczynski tonight. Do we have any declarations of interest from the councillors, please?
Yes, Mayor. 5.5 will be open again.
5.5. Councillor Shan, and you're leading the room. Thank you. Any other declarations?
341.
341. Councillor Hollister.
Staying in the room.
Any other declarations of interest?
Just a point of order.
Councillor Hollister, I need a reason of why you're staying in the room. Sorry.
That's very valid. Needs to be acknowledged that they've been moving. Acknowledged probably 3 or 4 times a year. I wonder about you. Been done. Shared service.
Okay, thank you. Any other declarations of interest? No, thank you. So we're moving on to item 3. 3.1 is confirmation of minutes. If I could have the mover, please.
No move.
Councillor Murphy and Councillor Viney. Councillor Murphy.
No, me interested, mate.
Thank you. Councillor Viney.
Nothing to add there.
I'm coughing now. Do apologise. Thank you, Councillor Viney. Any further comments from the councillors? Not Councillor Murphy to close, please.
Consider it closed, Mayor.
Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
And against? Carried unanimously. Thank you. 3.2 is public question time. 3.2.1 is responses to questions raised in prior meetings. There is none. 3.2.2 is questions on notice from the public. There are no questions. 3.2.3 is questions without notice from the public. You notice we have Mr. Devonport there in the gallery. Hello, Mr. Devonport. Excuse me.
Thank you, Mayor. Paul Cotter, 11 Cocker Place, Devonport. Mayor, before Providore Place, now known as Market Square Pavilion, was constructed, ratepayers were told that the rental revenue from a 10-year lease was guaranteed to be an amount of $400,000 per year. At this point in time, is the revenue received from rental equal to or better than the guaranteed amount?
We'll get back to you on that one if you like. Thank you.
Thank you. On the 21st of July 2025, I asked to email Council's AI chatbot, Miss Rose, the following. Please inform of this date, July 2025, what is the amount of council debt? Unfortunately, Miss Rose was unable to answer. However, I was later informed about my rates. Apparently, there was a misunderstanding, as I did not ask about my rates, but what was council's loan debt is. So please clarify, can the CEO now inform what council's loan debt is? By the way, I am up to date with my rates payments.
That's good to know, Mr. Bellicott. That's very kind of you to make sure that.
It's really Mayor will right to Mr. Bellicott with the exact amount of loan balance.
Thank you.
Thank you.
May I answer?
You certainly may. There's no one to compete with tonight.
No goes to me. I know legal proceedings are underway in regard to Mr. Ben Milburn seeking damages from council due to the failure of his business that was situated in Polydor Place. Further to questions previously asked and council's responses in regards to the alleged non-payment, the alleged non-payment of money owed by Charlotte Jacks Devonport, owned by Mr. Ben Milburn. As of this date, what progress, if any, has been made to recover the alleged debts? What is the situation? Is it still
Yeah,
pending?
through you, Mayor, the matters with the council's insurance lawyer, and we are unable to make any comment regarding the matter.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, Mr. Developer. And as there is nobody else in the public gallery, I'm assuming we can move on. 3.3. Here, I've just lost it. Is questions from council. 3.3.1 is questions on notice from councillors, which we have none. And 3.3.2 is questions without notice from councillors. Is there any questions without notice from councillors tonight? No, we'll move on. Thank you. 3.4 is notice of motions. So we move on to 3.4.1, notice of motion, acknowledgement of the nation. If I can have a mover, please.
So moved.
Thank you, Councillor Murphy. And a seconder?
So second.
Councillor Moore. Thank you, Councillor Murphy.
Thank you, Mayor. As it states here, the notice of motion is for the following statement to be read at all council meetings immediately following the acknowledgement to country. That being that we acknowledge and honour the brave Australian men and women who have served and continue to serve our nation with courage and dedication. Their sacrifices have helped protect the freedom we cherish today. We also recognise the strength and unity of our diverse, multicultural society built on shared values, mutual respect, and a collective commitment to a better future for all. Now, Mayor, the support for this statement serves as a respectful recognition, as it's written there, of the service and sacrifice of Australian Defence Force personnel, such as Councillor Hollister, for example, and thank him for his service in Vietnam, whose contributions have shaped and safeguarded our nation. Furthermore, it acknowledges the importance of unity in our multicultural society, reflecting on the inclusive values that underpin the Devonport community. Incorporating this acknowledgement of nation into council meetings complements the acknowledgement of country and reinforces council's commitment to respect, unity and national service. Now, the officer's comments there, Mayor, go to a similar motion that was tabled back in the AGM of 2022. In actual fact, that was tabled by someone who is here tonight, Mr. Bob Bellicott. That notice of motion was obviously well considered by Mr. Bellicott at the time. However, it wasn't the same as what is being proposed here tonight. Now, Mayor, adopting this statement is a simple, powerful act of leadership. It honours the men and women who have served our nation with courage, while also affirming the strength of our multicultural society. Across Australia, there is renewed focus on recognising veterans' wellbeing and contributions, as well as ensuring multicultural communities feel valued and included. In times when division and uncertainty can dominate the headlines, Devonport has an opportunity to demonstrate unity and respect at every council meeting. This is more than symbolism. It tells veterans, their families, and people of all backgrounds that they are seen, respected, and part of our shared future. Reading the statement after the acknowledgement of country strengthens our civic rituals and makes our community's values visible in action, not just in words. It takes courage to lead on behalf of everyone, not just when it's easy, but when it means standing for unity, service, and respect every single time the council meet. That's why this statement deserves our support.
Thank you. Councillor Moore.
I believe that acknowledgements and ceremonial statements should be meaningful, respectful, and appropriate to the context in which they are delivered. Different occasions call for very different forms of recognition. For example, I recently attended the Vietnam Veterans Remembrance Ceremony, and the acknowledgement was beautiful, honouring and sober, just as it should be. Similarly, ceremonies for emergency personnel carry a tone of solemn gratitude and enduring respect. At times, I feel like the acknowledgement of country risks becoming tokenistic through overuse, which can unintentionally diminish its significance. Familiarity can erode impact, and I believe that we must be careful not to let important recognitions lose their meanings. Personally, as a country, I would like to move towards a more thoughtful and balanced approach of when and where we use the acknowledgement of country. There is a real danger in continually adding it to the beginnings of meeting that make it long and drawn out, and in do so reducing the significance of the element. This is something that as a council we probably need to leave for another time. However, I firmly believe that men and women who serve and sacrifice for our protection deserve to be honoured. Recognising their courage and dedication alongside the strength and unity of our multicultural society is not a distraction, it is a complement. I do not believe that adding a statement which promotes both honouring and unity in any way diminishes the acknowledgement of country. Rather, it reflects the full breadth of our community's values, respect, service, diversity and shared commitment to a better future. Therefore, I'll be supporting the motion.
Thank you. Further comments from the councillors? Councillor Ennis?
Thank you. I appreciate the sentiment, but will not be supporting the motion. While honouring service members and multiculturalism is broadly supported, formalising such a statement in council meetings could be seen as injecting nationalistic or militaristic sentiment into civic proceedings, which I believe is not appropriate in a local government context. This motion seems to be politically motivated and aligned with certain ideological positions. This is not the business of local government. We should not become political, which this motion is. Council meetings are primarily governance forums, not ceremonial events. Adding additional scripted statements could lead to a creep in formalities and potentially less focus on decision making. If we begin to include acknowledgements for various groups, we may face pressure to expand further, which could complicate meeting protocols unnecessarily. While the statement is well intentioned, it could be perceived as politically or ideologically loaded, especially the emphasis on military service and national identity. The council already has appropriate avenues to honour veterans, celebrate multiculturalism, and rightly so, through events, grants, partnerships and commemorations. Embedding this statement into every meeting may be seen as a symbolic duplication rather than a meaningful addition to civic responsibilities. Council should strive to maintain neutrality and inclusivity and avoid statements that might be interpreted as aligning with particular narratives or values that not all residents share. Adopting this motion could set a precedent for other groups to request formal recognition in meetings. Emergency services, educators, nurses and volunteers, where will it end? While all contributions are valuable, Council must be cautious about creating a hierarchy of acknowledgements, which could lead to having to make decisions about who is included or excluded. This motion feels divisive, and we do not want to place importance on some groups more than others. Where will this end? Can't support the motion.
Thank you. Councillor Martin?
Thank you. Some really good discussion points from all speakers. I read the motion itself and kept it separate from the supporting items. That's the way I read it, that we acknowledge and honour the brave Australian men and women who have served and continue to serve our nation with courage and brave and dedication. I actually thought that would include or could include in that statement surf life saving, volunteers, emergency services, the nurses, not necessarily those at the war front, but those who weren't at the war front. such as Women's Army, etc., and other volunteers that have served our communities, our state, and our nation. And I looked at it and I tried to think that that is inclusive, and I think it's a good motion. I agree with Councillor Ennis that we've got to be careful that we don't open the Pandora box and we get another 10 different acknowledgements. But I think this one is inclusive, where he's kept separate the volunteers and emergency services. I think that could be representative of all those services, especially volunteers. And I think it also falls to our values of council, the ones that we all agree to and what we work and pride ourselves on. And so I'll be supporting this motion. And I'd like to thank all those who have served and are serving. And just a quick point, include all the animals that have been are involved with protection of our nation, whether that be sniffer dogs, whether it be war horses, whatever you like. And perhaps that may be a thought that Councillor Murphy might think of in this motion, whether that should be added as well. But I agree with this motion at the moment.
Thank you. Councillor Hollister.
Just a question. Is this acknowledgement in the federal or state governments?
Yes, through to Councillor Murphy or?
I'll speak to that in my closing if you like, Councillor Hollister.
Thank you.
Nothing further. Further comment, Councillor Barney?
Thank you, Mayor. So the acknowledgement of country is a formal recognition of the traditional landowners of where we're meeting. It's a respectful and meaningful way to honour those traditional owners and support reconciliation. It's my opinion that adding to the acknowledgement or amending it in any way actually moves away from that original purpose, and despite the good intentions of this motion. As Councillor Murphy alluded to, it's not a new idea. It might be a different set of words, but has been brought to this council's attention or suggested to this council before and was defeated previously. Personally, I don't think it complements the acknowledgement of country, rather it detracts from it. So for that reason, I won't be supporting the motion.
Thank you. Further comments from the councillors?
Yep.
Councillor Shane?
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to thank Councillor Murphy for walking me through some of his thinking in relation to the motion when he first put it up. I always enjoy our discussions, even when we're not on the same page. I did offer to come up with some wording that was not quite as long, but still acknowledged our servicemen and women, similar to what one of my colleagues does up in Burnie. It's a short sentence that says, we pay our respects to past and current serving members of the Australian Defence Force, and that's added to their welcome to country. I felt that was probably more appropriate. I think, without repeating myself too much, Councillor Murphy's addendum to the welcome to country is quite lengthy and wordy, and I think the nature of that would actually encourage others to also want to include more. And as Councillor Barney said, you need to be careful to dilute the welcome to country. So after a compromise wasn't sort of taken up, but I did very much appreciate the discussion and thank Councillor Murphy for his considered thoughts on this. Thank you.
Thank you. That's everybody now. I have no issue with what is written here, as in acknowledging and honouring our brave Australian men and women. Being an ex-RAFI wife, I have no issue with honouring our servicemen, our emergency services, all those people that are out there that look after our communities in every action and form. There are a lot of amazing people out there that do very, very good things in our communities. The acknowledgement of the country, in my mind, is for the Indigenous people to be acknowledged in what has happened in the past, and that is how I see it. It doesn't mean that it should be taken from that and then added to. I believe it should be in its own entity as it is, and that's how I see it. I go to every the event that I can, whether it's the Anzac Day, Veterans. I go to the multicultural events that we have, Harmony Day. I go to International Cafe and acknowledge and celebrate the wonderful multicultural society that we are and what Australia is all about. I do everything I can to honour those that are here and honour those who have left us and honour those that have sacrificed it for us in every manner and form. But I still believe that the acknowledgement of the country is about our Indigenous community. And I believe that that should be as that and only that. And that's in my opinion. Thank you. Councillor Murphy to close.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you to all my fellow councillors. I just suppose on a couple of points we need some clarification with respect to maybe some councillors' interpretation of what this is. And this is the challenge that local government, being the closest form of government to the community, has. And that sometimes is that big government sometimes forgets about little government and little communities. And from little things, big things grow. With respect to, this isn't looking to replace the acknowledgement of country. By no means. That is an important facet of local government, state government and federal government, and that's all well recognised. However, to go to some of the ideological points that Councillor Ennis made around this being a political statement, I wholeheartedly disagree with that. That may be his interpretation, but the acknowledgement doesn't state the supporting statement there says that this is around defence personnel. When I consider this acknowledgement of nation, this is to honour brave Australian men and women who have served and continue to serve our nation with courage and dedication. That is our volunteers. That is those people who are out on the beaches at observe patrols. That is our volunteer firefighters. That is our volunteer ambulance service people. It's not nowhere in this acknowledgement of country is it, acknowledgement of nation, is it nationalistic or defence orientated. It doesn't say that. It actually states that serve our nation with courage and dedication across all facets of the community. Their sacrifice to help protect the freedom, their sacrifice of time, not just their lives. That's a big commitment that a lot of people give, week in, day out. We also recognise the strength and unity of our diverse multicultural society. As the Mayor alluded to, she attends a number of multicultural events that are supported by this council, and that our country is continuing to grow in such a diverse way. Those people need to be brought along and included in our modern society. At some point in time, they will not be the forgotten ones. They need to be acknowledged. They need to be encouraged, to be made to be feel part of something. And that is something that we can start here from our council and see the ripple effect of what that can potentially achieve through some simple words. And that's all it is. There's no cost here. No one's going to be offended by it. There may be some who have an ideological view of it. That's fine. That's never going to change. But that is the beauty of being a diverse community. You can have a difference of opinion, but why don't we open it up and actually acknowledge that, yes, we are here on traditional Aboriginal lands, but our community and our culture is growing, it's changing, it's evolving. And we need to include everybody, and everyone at a local level should need to feel that they're part of that. This is a simple statement of simple words that acknowledges that. It's inclusive. You know, we bang on about being inclusive in our community continually, day in, day out. We actually have a committee of council, the Inclusivity Committee. You know, I think we need to be looking at aligning ourselves as the closest form of government to the people. And a lot of people who have read this have said it made sense. It doesn't diminish the acknowledgement of country, but it's the first step in the right direction of actually embracing the entire community as part of a simple gesture at the beginning of a meeting. That's all it is. You know, the Councillor Ennis' statement, it opens the door, it opens, by the sound of it, was like it was opening Pandora's box to all and sundry who think, oh, why aren't we included? Well, we have a number of different groups and rallies and things that occur on a monthly, weekly basis throughout the year. But this is acknowledging the people who are almost the backbone of our communities, acknowledging them and saying thank you. You know, we wish to acknowledge what you actually do, and you know, promote strength and unity in a diverse, multicultural society. It gets read once a month. Is it that difficult? Is it that hard? Or are we so belligerent that we can't turn around and acknowledge that this actually makes sense? Our society is changing in front of us. From when this was first proposed back in 2022, it wasn't what the statement is now. It was completely different and did not include recognising how diverse our society is and our community. So I will put it to the vote.
If you don't mind, Councillor Hollister had a question for you.
Oh, so,
I apologise.
what was your question, Councillor Hollister?
So it was read out at
I would ask.
Yeah, so it isn't. So in response to Councillor Hollister's question, part of this is, again, it's having the courage to be first, to put something up, to potentially have that ripple effect where other councils might turn around and say, this is actually quite a smart move of a council who's willing to have the courage to go first. And Devonport City Council's done that on a number of different things, where we have been first and we have been the leader. And this is about taking that next step in leadership and turning around and acknowledging and embracing our entire community, as well as the very, very important traditional owners of this land. Having said that, Mayor, consider it closed.
Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? I'll have a red hands, please. All those for? Councillor Murphy, Councillor Martin, Councillor Moore and Councillor Shan. And against? Councillor Ennis, Councillor Viney.
So it's okay. Over as a rule for now.
There'll be a no if you abstain. So, Councillor Ennis, Councillor Hollister, Councillor Viney, Councillor Jarman. Motion is lost. Moving on to 3.4.2, the notice of motion request for workshop, City's Transport Networks. If I could have a mover, please.
So moved.
Thank you, Councillor Shane, and a seconder, please.
Seconded.
Councillor Hollister, Councillor Shane.
Thank you, Mayor. I apologise. I'm having some technical issues with my laptop tonight.
Oh, no.
It's dying on me, but it's okay, guys. I've got it. Yes. So,
Then it's two laptops now.
generous colleagues. Look, the background to the motion is in the agenda, but I guess just to briefly speak to why I've raised it, I do feel that the Living City Master Plan does have momentum. We are going to keep building and developing new parcels of land in the city and the city fringe. And I just think it would be prudent as councillors, I know the council staff do a lot of work, but I think as councillors we need to be understanding when we do sign up on developments how it impacts future growth. I remember when many years ago there was deliberation about whether Kmart should go down near where the police station is, and it ended up going up between the city and Four Ways and sort of split the CBD. So I just think we need to have a really good overview, particularly in this case, in relation to transport and transport networks, to make sure that the city can cope with population growth and that it can marry in well with development of infrastructure. The reason I'm raising it now is that, as I said, I do think the city growth does have momentum. Growth it's a blessing and a curse, but I do think we need to be prepared for future growth. And I'm not entirely comfortable about leaving it all in the remit of state growth. I think at local government level, we really need to be across how our transport and residential growth corridors are managed. And some of that is obviously outside our purview, but we can certainly be advocating with state growth and other government entities to ensure that we get the best plan for the future for the city. It's probably something that won't affect us until another 10, 20 years, but it's important to get everything in place now. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Hollister.
Yes, I'm going to support the motion. Quite a lot of the DAs actually require traffic management study. I know that's just for a particular area, like Tony Rice at the moment, in those areas. But traffic, we don't really have many traffic holdouts here, barring accidents and things like that, but over time, we'll probably need to do a further study.
Thank you. Any further comments from the councillors? Councillor Shane to close.
No,
I'm sorry, I do apologise.
Quite obviously, I'd like to thank Councillor Shane for proposing tonight's motion. It is only to take this to a workshop. It is a high-level strategic notice of motion. It's very well thought out, and obviously will have a significant impact on the design elements of our broader community moving forward from an infrastructure perspective. There's a lot there to unpack. It's the reason why there's probably not too many people speaking to it. And the fact that this is a high-level strategic vision for getting things right now, because we are on the cusp of significant growth due to Living City, that we will need to, even though, as Councillor Shan's already stated, a lot of it will be outside the purview of local government. Again, as per the previous notice of motion, we are the closest form of government to the people, and we're best placed to provide advice to bigger level government of what is going to benefit our community and our city from that infrastructure perspective. So I will be supporting the motion.
Thank you. Further comments, Councillor Dennis.
Yep, I think it's really good. I'm looking forward to the workshop, and I'll be certainly supporting it. Planning and strategy are vitally important, and for us to develop and put some thought into this and see what advice we can offer going forward will be very worthwhile.
Thank you. Councillor Martin.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll be supporting the motion and congratulate Councillor Shane in bringing this forward. Over the years, we've seen a lot of examples where we probably should have been looking at this in more depth. For instance, Formby Road, we've got 1 out, 2 in. Painting of the silos you can't get to as another opportunity that I think is being missed. And around Tasmania, you see that the small streets that haven't been planned for and the narrowness of them for traffic management and vehicles getting in and out of. I think having an overview of moving forward where we should be considering such, because we don't know what's going to happen in 20 years, but we need to be able to put in place some type of flexibility to be able to address that as we move forward. not the Jetsons though. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Hollister.
Question, probably to Angus. Estate growth, just the traffic. And so paying for the scripts. That's equal to got quite a few things in their planning. The quarantine area, for instance.
Yes, that's through you, Madam Mayor. The work's ongoing. There's a working group that's includes representatives from C Road and CT Line and Council. It's coordinated and led by the Department of State Growth. And I believe they're meeting fortnightly, monthly. It's an ongoing process. So no, the work's not completed.
Thank you.
Thank you. Further comments? If not, I'll ask Councillor Shan to close the debate.
Nothing further. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Thank you. Moving on, if I can get my laptop to work. For planning authority matters, there are none. 5 is reports. We'll move on to 5.1 therefore, which I've lost now. Here we go. Council policies, final review, if I could have a vote of those.
Under
Thank you, Councillor
Second.
Hollister. And Councillor Murphy, thank you. Councillor Hollister.
this is biannual review. So I presume we're doing it every 2 years. Hopefully it's getting updated.
Thank you. Councillor Murphy.
Thank you, Mayor. Quite a significant amount of information to get through with respect to the adjustments. The majority of them are just, references to the fact that we've changed the general manager to CEO. However, there were some other minor wording things that and changes to a significant amount of these policies. Hopefully will make things a little bit easier for the council moving forward in dealing with these. But there's a fair bit there for people to get through. If they've got any issues with it, well, they've had the opportunity.
Thank you. Any further comments from the councillors? Oh, Councillor Martin.
Thank you. Has anybody got anything to say? Because I've got a list.
Okay. Well, I'm
Have you-
taking you a turn.
Well, I'm happy for anybody else to have a crack.
Have anything about parabolic mirrors on it?
Yeah, no, I like that. All right, I'll start. And Claire has actually said we can take photograph of this and it can be, they can read my writing. I doubt it, but we'll see how that goes. Okay, so asset management policy. Mentions there that is training, asset and financial management will be provided to councils and employees. I just wanted to make a question there is, when was that last done? Especially the councillors. That can be answered later on. I'm just, these are my notes and I read every policy, not just the notes. You'll have to excuse me and put up with my badly written notes that I'm going to ask about. Code of tenders and contracts. I note that the code is nearly 11 years old. When was this actually previously reviewed? It says that I think it's point 15 that's supposed to be reviewed every 4 years. So there's point 4.3 multiply use register be updated because it mentions around the $50,000 value. And does that respond back to it's now 11 years of age? So that the value of that dollar would have decreased. So I asked the question there, should it be increased? Point 5 exemption, you have general manager still listed it instead of CEO. Commercial lease policy, 1.1. Delete the in leasings I've got here. 1.2, council delete where tenant has initiated. We are relinquishing due to next being in act. Just make these points that they can be followed up. Point 2, legal advice, second paragraph. Engagement of a special legal advice will be determined. Query the specific legal advice in regard to the engagement of communication and media policy. Community and childcare lease policy. Clarification, does this apply to buildings such as the caretaker's cottage at Maidstone Park?
Not the childcare policy, no, childcare.
Community and childcare lease policy.
No, that's commercial.
Yep. Yep, I wouldn't said commercial lease. Regional gallery and acquisition and collection policy. 3.1. Storage replaced international word to industry standard. Industry standard of what? Is it Australian, local, or I presume not international? From why we dropped 11 from international to local standard? Is that a decrease in the standard that we're already enjoying? Agreed 5-year balance valuation for insurance purposes. 3.2, is there an actual alteration, update, change here in regard to an exhibition policy? I think I've seen a note that it's mentioned, but I don't think we've got one. So why is it in there? Digital recording policy, note workshops not included. Coming cheap there. 4.4. Following sub-points, numbers need to be updated because they're not in order. Fitness to work policy. You've got your capital P's and capital and small P's. Fraud and corruption policy. Where are the policies of listed councillors predominantly? This one lists elected members. So I just query the consistency where we've now got the CEO throughout all our policies. Here we have councillors and elected members. So I think that should be looked at. Personal information policy, point 14, second paragraph. Crossed out confidential, replaced with confidential. I'm not quite sure what that was about, but it's in there. Private works policy. We've got a note, well, review due July 2025, and then we're reviewing it 2 months later, along with all the others. Just make note of that. Public art policy, point 2B, roles and responsibility. Have notes on the side to replace the pack with Devonport Regional Gallery Advisory Committee. Presume different officers making comments as to other policies. Again, consistency for councillors to read and understand changes. I hope that makes sense when you read what I'm talking about. Point C, the contact will be managed by, doesn't say. Note on the side, pack not previously managed contact. So what, who is it? Point 4, criteria. Point 4.4, following paragraph, pack, is it going to be changed to DRG, advisory committee? Because it's listed there again. Same as the point 6 in the second paragraph, and then throughout. Purchasing policy, highlight comment, could that one quote be sought from the local businesses, providing suitable options that exist? Unsure of point 6.3, should black print be crossed out as it seems rewritten in red below? So from that, my memory was the same thing, but rewritten in red. I'm not quite sure, as a councillor reading that, what that's supposed to mean. A recruitment and selection policy, responsible manager listed as executive manager throughout policy refers to CEO. So I just queried that. There might be the CEO's role in there, but seems to be bit fragmented. Related policy disclosure. Related party disclosure policy. Point 4, council with a capital C, not consistent throughout. Capitals and no capitals. Sport and recreation facility hire policy. Point 1.1 unclear. Applications completed by booking system given priority. Not completing the booking process and provided required documents by requested date will not be considered. So I thought that was confusing in regards to that point. And point 1.2, point 1.2 and 1.3, is that not the same? Point 2.4, in accordance with the criteria set out in section, and it's blank. So I'm not quite sure what section it should be of this policy. Stormwater connection policy, point 3, use of capitals, standard or complex correction, same as point 3.1. Tree policy, technical there, is all read 1.1 and 1.2 to be deleted with a new 1.1. So I wasn't quite clear on that. I think we do the planning authority terms later. Thanks. So that's it. So they can take a photograph of that if they can read my writing. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Martin, would you prefer if we just did a procedural motion or if we lay on the table and it comes
I think that leads up to the general manager to follow those points. If it changes the context of the policy, we're probably okay going forward because it may be just grammatical, but there's a few questions in there that I think need to be addressed.
There was a sentence in here that just says changes to the policy template and formatting of policies may be required post adoption, but I just wanted to clarify with you whether which way you want to go with this.
Well, I'd leave it to the general manager. I have some questions that you would have heard.
Yeah, through you there. There's questions, a lot of those I took as being, you'll see some clarification around what's in the policy.
Yes.
More than happy to answer that after they've been adopted. There were some things there that were administrative. Again, if council wants to adopt the policies, we're happy to make those minor administrative changes. But if you believe there's policy positions that should change or things that should be adjusted, well, then my advice would be that you defer it and get a workshop.
I'll move for deferment.
Thank you. So if we have Councillor Martin moving that, I need a second to procedural motion. Councillor Murphy? Thank you. Councillor Martin, you're happy with that?
Yes, thank you.
Happy to put that, if we can just, all those in favour?
Aye.
And against?
No.
So I'll need a show of hands, please. 4 is Councillor Murphy, Councillor Ennis, Councillor Martin, Councillor Viney, Councillor Moore, Councillor Shane, Councillor Jarman. And against is Councillor Hollister. That's therefore it's gone through, no problem at all. Sorry, so we'll move on to 5.2.
Point of order, Mayor.
Oh, sorry.
No, just with respect to that, will that now defer agenda item? I'll just get out of there and I'll go back to here. With respect to the PAC policy that we will be
Doing now.
Yeah, will that also be deferred?
I don't know until we get to that. So, thank you. So 5.2, Planning Authority Committee, if I could have a move of the recommendation, please.
Move it.
Councillor Viney, and second, please.
Second.
Councillor Hollister. Councillor Viney.
Thank you, Mayor. It was my understanding that this is more a formality that we're moving the Planning Authority Committee policy and changing it to a terms of reference, like all other council committees, and this was brought about by a change suggested by an internal audit in 2024. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Hollister?
I think
We can't hear you. We need your microphone. Thank you.
I think staff come forward with all these policies. I don't think that they ought to be passed and then it needs to be changed them afterwards.
Or we're just dealing with the draft terms of reference here. Thank you. Further comments, please? Sorry.
Yeah, through you, Mayor, just to clarify, so we don't have a position where we've got terms of reference and a policy that covers the same committee. So my advice would be take point 4 from the previous recommendation and add that to this resolution. So in effect, you would then be rescinding the previous Planning Authority Committee policy and you would be adopting the new terms of reference, which is a recommendation that came out of the internal audit that went to the audit panel.
So I'm happy to move that motion with that change on it.
And is Councillor Hollister happy to second that? Just need your microphone on.
Yes.
Thank you. So just bear with us.
Question.
Just bear with us for the moment. Good. Yes, Councillor Hollister.
Does that mean we can't already make any decisions to talk about the ratify?
Yeah, so if this resolution gets passed, the terms of reference will then come into effect and you would do the planning committee meetings in accordance with those terms of reference.
That doesn't mean any decision that comes up within the next month.
Okay.
we'll just
No,
take-
because this is what we're doing here by rescinding the previous policy. So that's why I asked the question.
Yeah. Good. Okay. So it's moved by Councillor Bonny and Councillor Hollister. Any questions from the councillors? Yes. Councillor Moore.
Just a question because it came up last meeting. It says under representation, a councillor who's not a member of the committee may fill a vacancy for a meeting on the written request of the committee. Just a clarification, like can that be sent on the day and does it have to be by the whole committee? I'm just, because we had this problem last meeting.
Question? That's the issue.
Yeah, the practice through you, Mayor, the practice we're following in the past is obviously the mayor affects the chair of the committee requests an additional councillor to be part of it. Whether that's technically in line with those terms of reference, maybe we should just, if council's happy, adopt the terms of reference and we'll just review that wording around how that occurs.
Good point. Thank you.
So for clarity, I guess councillors are generally happy that the chair of the committee has the scope to be able to invite an additional person to join the committee. That's the intent. We'll just review that wording to make sure that it's reflective of that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Further questions from the councillors? If not, I'll ask Councillor Viney to close.
Nothing further, thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Move on to 5.3, the Hillcrest Permanent Memorial. If I could have a member of your recommendation, please.
So moved.
Second.
Councillor Moore and Councillor Martin. Councillor Moore.
Thank you, Mayor. I fully support the creation of the Hillcrest Memorial at Coles Beach, honouring the children and providing a place for families in our communities to remember, reflect and heal. The vision shaped by the families themselves and the Heart Committee ensures that this will be a place of celebration, not just sorrow. Council's commitment to ongoing care of the memorial will be just part of the process to keep these children's memories alive generations to come.
Thank you. Councillor Martin.
Thank you, Mayor. This motion supports the creation of a place filled with light, where reflection, celebration, and the boundless imagination of childhood comes together to inspire hope, connection, possibility. It honours the spirit, the dreams and laughter of children. It reminds us of their boundless energy, their wins, their stumbles, and the love they inspire in each and every one of us. It's hope this place of celebration also encourages all to hug our children a little tighter every and each day and never miss the opportunity to tell them how much we love them. I also invite my fellow councillors to support this motion as a tribute to the brilliance of childhood, the wonder, the imagination, the curiosity, the creativity, and the wonderful, endless possibilities our children bring to us all in our lives. Thank you.
Thank you. Further comments from the councillors? Councillor Ennis.
Thank you. Whilst we're talking specifically about the Hillcrest Memorial, what we must remember is that all children are important, and we're about celebrating the life of children in our community. It's a space for the community. Parkland will be enhanced. It will be a beautiful nature space. It will be joyous, full of life. It will be available for activity and reflection. A space that we should be privileged to have here to serve as something we all should remember. Congratulations to all involved in making this come to life. I'll be supporting.
Thank you. Councillor Viney.
Thank you, Mayor. Two key points for me to this motion. Firstly, that this site has been selected for an appropriate celebration of the children rather than a place of mourning of the Hillcrest tragedy. Secondly, that it was the intent of HART, the Hillcrest Affected Area Recovery Committee, to be giving something back to the community, not taking something or something that we've lost at this site. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Further comments? Councillor Murphy.
Thank you, Mayor. I will too also be supporting the establishment of the Hillcrest Memorial as a lasting tribute to the children whose lives were tragically lost and to the families forever affected. The memorial will stand as a place of remembrance, reflection, celebration, healing and unity for the entire community.
Thank you. Further comments? Councillor Shan.
Joanne, I'll be supporting the motion. I would like to say to the families, your children will always be in our hearts. Through this memorial, their memory will live on in the community that honours them now and forever. Today marks an important milestone and an important completion of the memorial.
Thank you. Further comments from the council? Councillor Hollister.
Okay, but the discussion we've had, I think this is the perfect spot for it. And I ask me to support it. We'll be a great place to do this.
Thank you. Further comments? If not, I will ask Councillor Moore to close.
Thank you to the councillors for all their comments, and thank you to the Heart Committee for all the work that they did to make a space that I think our whole community will be able to celebrate and remember.
Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Thank you. If you don't mind, I'm just going to adjourn the meeting for a couple of minutes. Thank you.
Yeah.
To item 5.4, Gladstone Park
So moved.
Advisory Committee,
Second.
Councillor Martin and Councillor Hollister. Councillor Martin.
Thank you, Mayor. There are vacancies on Maidstone Park Strategic Committee. Jen Tuxworth is well known to the Sprayton community and the Sprayton Scouts, and I think will add a valuable experience and voice to the committee. And I've spoken to Jan personally, and she's looking forward to coming on board.
Thank you, Councillor Hollister.
That would be a very well member for the committee.
Thank you. Further comments from councillors? If not, I'll ask Councillor Martin to close.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Item 5.5 is the sponsorship request Everyday Lines Life Coach Unit. Thank you, Councillor Shank. A mover, please. Councillor Viney, and a seconder, please.
Second.
Councillor Hollister, thank you. Councillor Viney.
Thank you, Mayor. The vote to thank you. Love to vote around race and other races that Everyday Lines put on in the community that I've been to or have spoken to other people that have participated in only have glowing sorry, I've lost words. I'm lost. I'll start again. Sorry. Ryan and Amy do a great job. Their events are always well received, and I think as a council we need to support them going forward. Brian and Amy did have an opportunity to present at council. Very professional presentation outlining all of the positive stuff that this contributes to the community and the benefits of the community. So I endorse the additional sponsorship. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Hollister.
Yes, I think this is a very good, healthy outlook for, Devonport's community. If you look at the name, that's probably a little bit more appropriate name as the Devonport something or other, rather than everybody knows what the very tent is. I think Devonport ought to be included in the name. I don't know whether that's gone forward and what we've suggested at the financial assistance meeting.
Question through to Ms. Lunson.
Yeah, through you, Mayor. Spoken to Brian post our workshop, and he was supportive of both further discussions on the name change and also the change of date. That would be for the new agreement, which will be post 26 event. They're already in planning and etc. for next year's event. So, but no, welcome both those suggestions.
Thank you.
Thank you. Further comments from the councillors? If not, I will ask Councillor Viney to close the debate.
Thank you, Mayor. Consider it closed.
All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Thank you. We'll get Councillor Shan back in, please. Thanks, Ms. Munson. Thank you. So we're moving on to item 5.6, which is public land disposal rights to East Devonport. The information is there. If I can have a mover, please.
No move.
Councillor Murphy and the seconder.
Second.
Oh, there's a fight going on. Councillor Ennis, I think, was loudest. Councillor Murphy.
This is just merely procedural, Mayor. There's not really too much to discuss around this one.
Thank you. Councillor Ennis.
I agree.
Thank you. Any further comments or questions? Councillor Hollister.
Did we already deal with this, or is that just a subdivision of it?
Through you, Mayor. Yeah, we have previously considered it. Mr. Gerber might just expand on that.
When he gets his microphone. Thanks, Mr. Stone.
Through you, Mayor, so his council's already resolved to sell the land in support of the developer work in East Devonport. The title, the actual title document still retains public open space annotation on the title, so it's not currently listed on council public land register, and the purchaser has requested as part of the sale of that annotation is removed. So in the abundance of caution, we are adopting the public land disposal process outlined in the Act to remove that annotation.
Thank you. Further comments or questions from the councillors? If not, I will ask Councillor Murphy to close, please.
And considering all that information was in the report, Mayor, consider it closed.
Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Thank you. 5.7 is the public infrastructure upgrade. If I could have a mover, please.
So moved.
Councillor Murphy and a seconder.
A second.
Councillor Moore. Thank you. Councillor Murphy.
We workshop this one fairly significantly, Mayor. It's a necessary requirement, and again, we just sort of making the adjustments that we need to make.
Thank you. Councillor Moore.
Happy to note the improvements and how successful stage 1 implementation of the multi-storey car park's been. It's been really great to see staff down there helping customers as well. I've had talked to a few people that have appreciated just the extra little bit of guidance. Also, this motion obviously includes removing 6-day all-day parking, which, as Councillor Murphy said, we did workshop this quite heavily. We do understand that some people will be slightly disadvantaged, but we're also we're really happy with the new technology, and sometimes that does bring the occasional disadvantage. So well done to the team.
Thank you. Any further comments or questions from the councillors? Not. I'll ask councillor Murphy to comment.
Thank you, Mayor, and just to follow up, as councillor Moore has alluded to, there is also a bit of a net benefit because it's a 24/7 scenario. So if the people who are transitioning from the occasional use of the $6 a day rate, this in essence sort of gives them 20 days a month for memory. So yeah, look, I can understand it. However, it's a small price to pay for convenience. Consider it closed again.
Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. 5.8 is the financial assistance scheme round 1 for 25-26.
So moved.
Thank you, councillor Martin and councillor Shan. Councillor Martin.
Thank you, Mayor. Some great projects in the financial assistance applications. They're quite detailed. It's great value to the community itself. It's got value of money, which is what some of the decisions were made upon. And it's rated on the value to the community itself. I can't emphasise that enough because being on the committee, it really is looked upon how these projects add to our community benefits to participants and our locals, improvements to facilities, and of course that hopefully increases participation in our events and sports and attracts visitors to our town or city, I should say. So a lot of thought went into the judging of that. All those applicants took about 2.5 hours, 3 hours, I think, besides reading it before we went into the meeting. So a lot of work went into that and a lot of decision were made in favour of most of the projects. Those who weren't lucky enough to be allocated money, I suggest that they relook at their application and relook at the criteria involved to apply and reapply at the next round. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Shan.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Councillor Martin, for your comments. I think one of the most important things we do as a council is to get ratepayers' money back out into the community to grassroots sporting clubs and community organisations, because they really are the custodians of the community. Often, doing a lot of work for our youth and our future citizens as well. So it's been a pleasure working with the council team on the financial assistance working group. And I'd give a shout out to anyone thinking that they might apply for some council funds. The team are great. It's a pretty straightforward process. So if you do have a sporting club or a community organisation that you feel might have something we can help with, please don't hesitate to get in touch with the council team. Thank you.
Further comments from the councillors? If not, I will ask Councillor Martin to close.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Councillor Seen, for your comments. It was a good process, and I do encourage anybody who's out there that's looking for improvements or putting on events or as such, that they do apply to council for funding. We love a little bit more difficult submissions to have a look at, as do the staff. We rate each submission, we go through each one and add a value right across the scope of each application. So there is a lot of work done at the meeting, and I'll close the motion.
Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
And against? Carried unanimously. Thank you. 5.9 is the memorandum of understanding for Lloyd's Healthcare. If I could have a mover, please. Councillor Ennis, and a seconder. Second. Councillor Sheen, thank you. Councillor Ennis.
Thank you. I think this is a logical partnership between a a very well respected local Tasmanian health group and the council. And part of our vision is living well Devonport, and I think it's just a very good marriage. And I hope that we can continue to work on this and be collaborative and get better outcomes for our health, for the health and well-being of our community. And I know that it's been sort of a long-term goal with the council, and this is just another opportunity to progress that. So I'm supporting.
Thank you, Councillor Shane.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I've been following the St Luke's Wellness Hub space online for a little while now, and I really do think it's going to, as Councillor has said, really marry with what we're doing in our new sports precinct, but more generally across the city. It's such a high quality service. It really, I'm just so excited that we can fill a much needed gap in our health and wellbeing strategy as a city. I don't think we realise how good it's going to be, but I'd encourage anyone to jump online and have a look at some of the social media, some of the testimonials, and the issues around health and wellbeing that they bring to the fore is so important for our community. So I'm really excited to support this one. Thank you.
Thank you. Further comments from the councillor? I'm certainly very excited by this connection that we're getting with an entity like this coming into Devonport and wanting to play ball and such. We're very lucky to have them where they can't wait to collaborate with us, work with us, and come up with some different things that they can do to help the Devonport community and the region as such. What they've done in the Hobart and Launceston was absolutely incredible. So watch this space. Really looking forward to it. I will ask, therefore, Councillor Ennis to close.
Thank you. Yep, this wellness hub fits very well within the new complex at Devonport Oval, and I would vote for it.
Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Thank you. 5.10 is capital program adjustments report. If I could have a mover, please. Councillor Hollister and the seconder.
Second.
Councillor Murphy. Thank you. Councillor Hollister.
Table one's a good example of where there's been savings in the capital budget. I think I need to say any more.
Thank you. Councillor Murphy.
Yes, Mayor. It's just more an accounting thing than anything else, to be quite honest. But as Councillor Hollister has loosely alluded to, there are some significant savings in capital works budget and the program moving forward. So hopefully we can get some of these projects completed. Spell changes.
Thank you. Further comments from the councillors? Councillor Viney.
Yeah. Just a question to clarify. With the state vehicle entry project, with the remaining funds there of 1.4 million, is that's completed? That's finished, that project now?
Review Mayor says I think the full scope's not completed. So there's still the works that are proposed as part of that project in spray to be completed. But the carry forward amount is recognising that the budget is ongoing. There's not that amount of funding remaining to be expected on that project.
Thank you. Any further comments or questions from the councillors? If not, I'll ask Councillor Hollister to close.
Consider it closed.
Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. 6 is information. 6.1 is the workshops and briefing sessions held. If I could have a mover, please.
So moved.
Councillor Martin and a seconder. Councillor Murphy. Councillor Martin.
Thank you, Mayor. Some great workshops that we've had, a lot of information to come across, and this motion is about receiving and noting information. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Martin.
I concur with Councillor Martin there.
Thank you. Any further comments or questions from the councillors? If not, Councillor Martin to close.
Consider it closed.
Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. 6.2 is the Mayor's monthly report. If I could have a move, please. Moved. Councillor Shane and the second, please.
Thank you.
Councillor Moore. Councillor Shane.
Thank you, Mayor. Another busy month. I have a question. The TAF auto body open day. Did you see that police car that the Kings was?
No, I wasn't there at the time.
Oh, okay.
No, I asked if they'd do my car. I just will say though that the spray room is absolutely second to none, world class. It's just incredible what's there for the students. So hopefully that they can get a lot of take up with that. Yeah, no, the car wasn't there. Thank you. Councillor Moore.
Mayor, I just wondered if you could mention anything about the freedom of entry, because that was something pretty special for our city.
Just slightly. Yeah, what an incredible event. Certainly was unbeknownst to me of how that would actually roll out and how that would work. It was run really, really well. Obviously, our staff did a really great job, but also the young cadets were doing so well for something, again, that was a big unknown to them, and how well that they behaved and performed there. And I was very, very proud. And there's a lot of lovely people in the hall watching them. So it was a lovely event. Thank you.
Just a question, Mayor. That wasn't an over demonstration of nationalism, was it?
Not at all.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you. Further questions? Councillor Vine?
Thank you, man. And I appreciate that will probably be on next month's list of things that you've gone to, but I think it would be remiss of us not to mention at this meeting where perhaps you were on Saturday afternoon, and if you saw anything that was spectacular for our city.
Just slightly. 5-8. Yes, I certainly was at the football very proudly. Certainly great to see the 3 teams that Devonport had up. I think we're undefeated, Councillor Ennis. Is that true for the whole season, all 3?
Correct. A world record.
World record. World record. There you go. I don't know if that's absolutely true, but it's lovely to hear. But certainly, yes, it was a wonderful day. It was great for Devonport. A big shout out to Latrobe for putting on the event. They did a great job. Their volunteers are second to none. It's always a great day. And the rain kind of stayed away, so that's great too. But thank you for mentioning that. Yes, I can't wait to be there at their dinner very soon. Any further comments or questions? Councillor Hollister, do you have a question?
Your meeting with Mike Gaffney, our House member.
Yes.
Did you get any key fingers how he thought the other House members would go to vote on the stadium?
I personally did not ask him that question directly, because I don't think it's my business to directly have a go at any of our wonderful people that are representing the community out there in those levels. I leave them to work out for themselves. I'm certainly not pushing my opinion on anybody. No, it was lovely to catch up with Mike Gaffney. He's a wonderful member of the Mersey. Any other questions? No, if not, I'll ask Councillor Shane to close.
Thanks, Mayor. Yeah, along with Councillor Hollister, I also attended the freedom of entry to lend a bit of support to you and the young people there. I don't know if I'm getting very old, but they all look so very young. Just looking at them lined up with their polished shoes, it was just lovely. But yeah, and I thought the speeches surrounding their contribution and not only that, but the training that they get, the cadets in completing that course can sort of be an introduction to all sorts of different sectors. I think aerospace and renewables were just 2 that I mentioned. So well done. I thought you did a good job, and it was good to be there and have a chat to Councillor Hollister as well.
Thank you. Thank you for being there. Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Thank you. 6.3 is the CEO's report. If I can have a move. Councillor Hollister and a seconder.
Second.
Councillor Ennis. Councillor Hollister.
Our CEO is very busy, obviously. Take questions at this stage.
Thank you. Councillor Ennis.
Thank you. Yeah, I've got a couple of questions. The first one would be the Don River Railway, how things are progressing there and where they can spend their 13 million.
Yeah, through you, Mayor. Yeah, they're still working through that process, and I'll provide the opportunity or invite them to come along as soon as they can to a council workshop and do a presentation. So still working through our best to do those upgrades as soon as they can. They'll present to council.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor, no. Any further questions from the councillors? Your light is on, Councillor Hollister. Councillor Shane.
Thank you. Yeah, just following on from Councillor Ennis's comments, I've also been talking to some of the Don River Railway Committee in recent weeks. I really do think it is important that we have that workshop briefing. So, through you, Mayor, if we could perhaps follow that up and just stress the urgency of keeping council informed, because we're keen to support and get a bit of an update because we get asked as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Murphy.
Thank you, Mayor. Maybe the CEO maybe possibly might be able to enlighten us how the steering committee overseeing the review of the regional land use strategy is actually moving or going, if it's going, or no point in needing to do something if it's not moving. But is there any information that you might be able to provide to timeframes when we'll actually see something?
It's through you, Mayor. The work is continuing on the regional land use strategy. There was some discussion through the recent state election that the state would play a more involved role in progressing the strategies, and the steering group are actually meeting with the minister in a couple of weeks' time, both the northern and the northwestern groups. So nothing further that I'm aware of at this point. The current program has it's the middle of next year for completion on the strategies.
On. Yes. Any further comments or questions? Councillor Barney.
Thank you, Mayor. I see the CEO met with Simon Wan about the development of the Devonport showgrounds. Is there anything you can share with the council about how that development's going? Thank you.
Yeah, through there. Yeah, just followed up Simon to try and get an update on where he's at with the showgrounds. He advised me that some of the land that he owns along the eastern side, he's worked through some new development applications for some of those sites and some of that land, and hopes to have something presented to council before Christmas.
Thank you, Councillor Hollister.
Good question. Grant has sort of done the development of Fogo. That is the factory is up at Dalton. So what's the connection there? Does that actually return a dividend to Dalton, which eventually comes back to the four councils?
Yeah, through there. That's correct. The Fogo processing plant is owned and operated by the Dalton Waste Management Authority, which is owned by the four councils. The Cradle Coast Waste Management Group manage the contract with Veolia for the service that goes across beyond the four owning councils. It goes to 6 or 7 of the regional councils that have the Fogo service. So, so the Cradle Coast Waste Management Group manage the the contract. As part of that contract, Goldman Waste Management actually provide the processing of the collected product. So that's done on a commercial basis on behalf of the authority, of which council is one of the owners, 43% right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any further comments or questions? If not, I will ask councillor Ross to close.
It's very close.
Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
And against? Carried unanimously. Thank you. We're moving into the 6.4, the monthly operational report. If I could have a mover, please.
So moved.
Councillor Viney, and seconder.
Second.
Councillor Moore, thank you. Councillor Viney.
Thank you, Mayor. Another stacked month in the operations report. A couple of highlights I'd like to point out. There's some nice pictures there of the Mersey Colts cricket club rooms that are now open and operational, including the canteen and bar area. Obviously, that facility there by our park was well overdue for a fit out. I'm yet to go in personally, but I'll certainly pop in and check it out soon. Also, just noting that the Devonport Land Care Group did a planting last month, or in this report, at the Dawn River area, and planted 153 plants, and there was another working bee at the Mersey River mouth with 231 plants at that working bee. I'm wondering if council, and I'm sure Councillor Ennis would be interested to know, if we've got a year-to-date number that those groups are planting, that we might be able to report on.
Ms. Lunson. Through you, Mayor, that's a great question, Councillor Viney, that I can't answer off the top of my head at 7 o'clock on a Monday night, but I'll get the number for you. How's that sound?
That'd be great. Thank you, Ms. Lunson. Also, looking forward, obviously we've had some change in the weather lately, although we're into spring, but you would know we've had all sorts of weather. But in a couple of weeks, 3 weeks' time, 12th of October is our spring fling. I know that that's notorious for probably getting some wet weather. So fingers crossed we get a really nice spring day for that one. Looking forward to going to that with the family. Thank you, man.
Lovely. You're welcome. Councillor Moore.
Yeah, lots and lots of events in the convention centre in Market Square. I just do have one question about parking that you because last month it was quite down, and then because there was a cash, like, because the cash doesn't get included to the next month. But I still notice that we are under. Is there a reason for concern, or is it because we're in the middle of winter, or I'm just wondering, should we be worried?
Yeah, through you, Mayor. The challenge with the graph that we put in the report is that the budget's worked out on an even 12-month division.
Yes.
And the income comes in and it's a month late. So been talking to Nadine, and we're going to adjust the split of the budget so that it's more reflective. So it should be correct by next month. To answer the second part of your question, no, we're not concerned. I've really at this point.
Thank you.
Any further comments or questions? Councillor Ennis.
Thank you. I think talking about parking, I was at an event in Latrobe on Saturday. There was a lot of cars parked everywhere in the streets and whatever. When I left, most of the cars are gone. So that, yes, big events do attract lots of parking and lots of people, but they do move on very quickly. So that's something that we can sort of hold on to around here, which is really good. Second thing was, keeping track of our infrastructure, plants and trees are really important. And I'm sure we are working towards knowing where all our infrastructure is and measuring it and keeping track of it. And with our build nurturing strategy that is progressing behind the scenes, that will all happen. So we'll know. Councillor. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Martin.
Thank you, Mayor. Just looking at community services 3.1, point 1, Housing Connect Homeless Week back in August. I just want to give a big shout out to the students at Don College, who are having a sleep out this Thursday night to raise funds to purchase backpack beds. There are students, there are young people that are sleeping on the grounds like Don College, and the students of the community services got together and taken on the challenge to raise funds to provide some protection for their fellow students, and with a lot of help from their teacher, Karen Stone. So a big call out to them. We've got a big history with homelessness in Devonport that relates back to Home Hill and the work that is done by young people that other than John Howard's coat, Home Hill is a home for a coat donated by every Prime Minister since John Howard, and it's hanging up there in recognition of homelessness. Back in the day when I was involved with my youth group who started this process, there was 100,000 people sleeping rough on the streets every night in Australia. It's now blown out to about 130,000, I think, last time I looked. And homelessness in young people has grew by 46% from the 2016 census to the 2021. So there's an issue out there, and congratulations to these young people who are taking it head on and having a crack at supporting their fellow students so they can get an education. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Murphy.
Thank you, Mayor. Obviously, financially, our operational budget's tracking on very nicely with a nice little $829,000 sort of hit in the right direction. But interestingly enough, our revenue was down 11% on our car parking revenue. But I've just been going back through the report and I'm just trying to look, just sort of noticing and spending a bit of time on my feet walking around town. There's a significant amount of vandalism occurring. I noticed that the elevator on the walkway at Haynes Park's out of water. How long's that been out of water? I've only been down there for a little while, but it looks like it's extensively sort of vandalised internally. And I'm just sort of going through the report. Normally there's a graph in here, but I can't seem to find it at the moment. Twice it's kicked me out. But normally how many incidences we normally have of vandalism? Sorry, Chair. Sorry.
Listen, I've got a question. Answer that.
Yeah, that's okay. Just with respect to where that currently is, yeah, which is a bit disappointing because I would like, it's one of those numbers that I continually look at, and just to see where we've got a comparison on how we're going with respect to that.
Through you, Mayor. Councillor Murphy, we can post those vandalism numbers to the team's channel, just to provide an update. With respect to the lift, it's had that many incidents of vandalism since it was opened. It's been ongoing. We've tried everything that we can to reduce the likelihood of that occurring. Some of it has been blocking off the view when you're inside the lift so that you have a sense of being trapped and you wouldn't want to put yourself in that position. But unfortunately, young people continue, unfortunately, to take action that causes damage. We certainly, as you're aware, have looked at how do we limit the amount of vandalism in our public toilets, and we tried smart locks. And unfortunately, the level of vandalism continues to the same rate that it has prior to that. So we continue to look for ways to limit that, but it certainly has been very challenging.
Sorry, yeah, just as a question, is that something that we should now be tabling for a workshop to look at addressing that moving forward? I'm assuming that would be coming at a significant cost to the community, and it's probably something that we need to do. Some around the table may not agree, but I think it's something that we need to address with respect to, if we need to be implementing more programs, more awareness, more investment in security, or whether it becomes a police matter.
Through there, we can post those additional stats and details on vandalism if councils like on Teams, and then certainly from that, if it's felt there needs to be a workshop, we can organise one. Provide the information. But I think through there, the graph that Councillor Murphy was talking about, I think is on page 65. Incidents.
That's the one. Just going back to through to the CEO, just with respect to that though, I think what the Deputy CEO, Mr. Griffiths, just alluded to, quite obviously we've taken steps in the right direction with the smart locks and everything else, and we still seem to be not getting the necessary sort of traction around addressing the vandalism issue around those public toilets. So I think it may be something we may need to be addressing sooner rather than later, taking into consideration we are about to come into our peak tourism time, and it'd be, a pretty sad indictment on the, runner-up tourism town in the country, that, visitors coming to our city are unable to use public toilets due to vandalism.
Thank you, Councillor Murphy. Councillor Hollister.
So many applications approved for the period of August. First one is 109 Bright Street, East Devonport. So the demolition of the building is in a heritage place. It's only the port zone. I'm not sure where it is.
Through you, Matt. I'll have to look it up and yeah, that's it. I don't know off the top of my head. Sorry.
Any further comments or questions? Councillor Murphy.
Thank you, Mayor. That graph's very hard to read to the CEO on page 65 compared to the old table that it used to be. But I understand that's changed, but it is just a little bit difficult to read.
Thank you. No further comments? If not, we'll ask Councillor Bond.
Thank you, Mayor. I look forward to knowing those total amount of plants planted this calendar year. Thank you. Consider it closed.
Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Thank you. Move to closed session. If I can have a mover, please.
I know.
Second. Councillor Murphy and Councillor Barney. Thank you. Councillor Murphy.
Really procedural, Mayor.
Thank you. Councillor Barney.
Nothing to add. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you. Any further comments or questions at all from the councillors? If not, Councillor Murphy can close.
Consider it closed.
Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. So we're closing at 7:13. We'll move.